Hi, I'm Wally from Wally's Model Railroading. I wanted to share something with you of late, and for 35 years I've been a huge N-scaler. Started way back in the early 90s. When I had my first apartment, I had a little 4x4 N-scale layout, little up and over loop thing, you know, and then it just built up from there. But anyway, my point is I'm sharing this video with you today because lo and behold, after working on 4 or 5 HO diesel locomotives and making them over and, you know, adding the decoders and sound and all of that, I thought, okay, I probably still have room in my little office here for one more layout, maybe an HO layout. So here the beginning construction of that layout is. It's not much. It's about the only room I have left in here, but it's about 9 inches deep and close to about 9 foot long. Okay, and it's a switching. It's going to be an HO little switching district here. That is the track plan. I spent this past weekend a good 4 or 5 hours just building this little shelf layout. So that's the gist of the layout. I'm going to be laying Tillig track down, which will be a first for me. I haven't heard much of that type of track being used here in the U.S., but it is. But I'm going to be using it because for Christmas, my son and my wife got me a couple of gift certificates for Renault's Imports, which is local to my area, maybe about 40 minutes away. Here in Illinois. And so I'm going to go that route. I'm going to be using IP Digital, the Cobalt IP Digital switch machines. I only have about 6 turnouts here, so this will be a first for me using switch machines. I've always gone with just any kind of manual operation, but you know, I want to explore. That's the thing I love about the hobby the most, is that every time you start something new, there's something more to learn, you know. So that's the deal. And I'll try to share some of me going through this process. By the way, currently this shelf is just resting on the brackets because down below, and I don't know if you saw, but down below this shelf layout is my actual workstation where I do my job daily. So there's a counter that comes out a good 20 inches. So right now I've been doing some of the work underneath. I laid in some bus wiring, a bus line underneath. So I just lift it off and I take it into another room and flip it upside down, and I've been working on it that way. And I think that's going to work out really well. I hope so. And I've got some screw inserts that I'm going to be putting into these brackets that allow me to be able to screw in and out of the structure here for my layout from underneath, from the brackets. I'll be able to screw in and out whenever I need to remove it. I mean, it eventually will stay permanent, but as I'm working on some of the stuff underneath and laying track and you know, and putting in feeders and working on the switch machines, I want to be able to flip that upside down or to its side and work on it comfortably. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. So I picked up my Tillig track today, all the pieces that I need. And it fits to the track plan pretty spot on. The scale's pretty good. You can see from the way it lays in here. This track's super nice too. It has the continuous movement in the track points. It's one whole piece. See that? All the way from, very similar to the Walthers, from up here by the frog. It's cut right there, but then it travels all the way down. And when you switch the track routes, it's just one bendable piece. So hopefully that works out really well. So I was just messing around with it here, taking a look at where I'm going to be wiring everything for DCC. They have two spots here for red, for track power right here, and then the frog solders right to that. So should be a nice, fairly simple installation. And then I have some Cobalt digital that I'm going to be hooking up in here. So that's it. Once again, that's the Tillig track brand. Okay, so out here in my TV area, I have the little shelf layout going. So as I was saying before, there's my bus line, and just yesterday I got my NCE unit, so I've got the power plug running down here. Right now it's taped. I'm going to put it back up on the brackets inside of that room. You can see them through there right above Buzz. But yeah, so I got to get a much nicer, I got to get the right fit and length for a surge protector, which is going to go right here, and this guy's just going to plug right in. But this is what we got so far, and next on to track work. Okay, so I'm laying out the track work here for my shelf layout, and I don't know if this is going to make much sense to you, but what I did was I took an X-Acto blade and I cut out the center lines. You could see a little bit of the center line right around this turnout, but I marked the areas also with the individual track pieces. So here's another turnout, but I marked off the smaller pieces. I got a crossover here, and on some of the flex track pieces that I'll be installing, I just cut little pieces out. So what I'm envisioning is once I lift this template up, that I can connect the rest of the lines in here pretty close. I'm not too worried about the flex track portions, but I wanted to make sure in here where we have a lot of crossovers and we have turnouts, that you can kind of see the lines are drawn in there. So, and we're marking off where the individual track goes. So that's kind of where this is at. I don't know if this will help anybody. This is the way I thought to kind of crank it out. So it's all sketched out now. A little hard to see, but we got it in pencil here. And for the large flex track areas, just a single line, so it comes off this crossover here, and we're just going to do single lines like that, and just to follow the track. We have another one on the other side. See that one going this way. It ends here, and then another one right there. Goes all the way back here. So that is the layout. There's a crossover here. Switch into switch. Quite a learning experience tonight. But I got through it. My first ever switch machine installed. It's an IP digital down there. So far, I just have the IP digital switch machine connected with the bus, just for some power. Here we got my little push button here. See? Nice. So that's where we're at. One piece of track laid down. More to go. Underway here. Just laying track. Liquid nails for projects. Just did this little crossover here. Things lining up pretty good. Well, we're getting there with the shelf layout. A lot of the track is laid down. A little more than halfway done. 2 more switch machines to install. Right there. Switch 5. Switch 6. But this is what we've got so far. Using liquid nails for projects. Wonderful for getting your track down. It's quite amazing, actually. And this is the Tillig track. These turnouts and crossover or crossing, I should say, are working great. And I bought these 3 cars at a train show out in Rockford recently. 30 bucks, $9 each. They work well, and they got the Katy couplers. So there's my 2 guys back there. I've been running them and testing them. Anyway, that's it for now. Well, we're almost done with the track. You can see the bus line here. A lot of suitcase connectors. On the other side of the track here, I have a few more little pieces of straight to add, but all the switches are in and running. And I've been testing them with my little push buttons. Functioning great. This here is a crossover. So I'm in the process of figuring out how to link those 2 switch machines up. But this is the underside, of course, tipped up on the brackets right now. Yep. Yeah, what do you think of that spaghetti, man? Crazy. I'll organize some of those loose wires. But they're tucked up in there pretty good too. So they're not hanging down too far, and that's the whole idea. So, that's it so far, you guys. Well, the track is all complete now. Complete with track bumpers. Those are Walther's HO track bumpers. And we have our Tillig turnout switch boxes at each turnout. And this is the layout. concludes this portion of my new HO switching layout. As you've seen, all the track's been completed. We've got everything running really well. The next steps will be, I'm going to be possibly weathering the track, but most definitely getting a fascia on, masonite fascia, and we'll have our buttons up in there, and I'm hoping to install some LEDs to show the directions of the turnouts, so that if I'm, controlling the layout from further back, I don't have to be right up on it to know which way the switch is turned. So I think that'll give it a little more organization, and that'll also get me into exploring new things, because of these push buttons are a new thing, and the LEDs and connecting them to the turnouts is going to be a whole new feat for me. So stick around for the next video, and if you're liking the channel, click subscribe. Thank you.